We only fear our greatness. That's all of us. And if we didn't, we would have everything that we wanted in our lives. We'd be happy, we would be prosperous, and the world would be in a very different place because we would have fixed it. See, because we're each born with that ability. We're all born the same, and we all born with the same abilities and talents and skills because the only place that exists is in our consciousness. That's the only place that it lives. No matter who we are, where we live, that is where it lives. And I've spoken about this for a while, but today I'm going to give you a couple of gifts. I'm going to give you some more information. And I'm doing this because, as I've mentioned to many of you, I'm extending my program because it is the thing that can change anyone's life and give you everything that you want. But I was fearing my greatness a bit. When I got up this morning, I was guided to put something together to give to you. It's real energetic change today in the world, so this is going to be really helpful for a lot of people. But I went and I put together all the messages I received on August 21st since 2012. We have evolutionary cycles that we move through in our lives, but we also have them as we move in our world, and they're all energetic. Everything about us is energy, our bodies, our planet, all of that. And we create them all the same way through our thoughts, through what we choose to think about ourselves, what we choose to think about others, and how we perceive our world. And that changes over time because civilizations change. And as civilizations change, there are certain people who have lived things that they can give to others to give us greater understanding. So we keep evolving as humans. And I was one of those people. I was given a philosophy, and it's called Your Life Operating Instruction. And what it said was that we would be moving through a transition in our world that might be a little challenging for many of us because we wouldn't understand who we were anymore. We wouldn't understand what was happening. And we would witness so many things going on, like wars and anger and division, and so many things that might be happening that would make us uncomfortable, except I was given the solution for that because the solution is you coming to love yourself. The solution is you coming to understand who you are and knowing your soul's journey, your soul mission, why you're on the earth, living that. Then you're making a different contribution to your life and to our world. But when we don't do that, we're fearing our greatness. And I can say this, it doesn't matter who you are or what you've done or what you think you possess. Every single soul has that. It's just about how you interpret it, how you think about it. But the reason you don't think about it in the way that could cause you to own who you are is because of your programming. That's all that it is. And that programming is generational, meaning it's been within you forever. Now, everybody has little different ideas about, what goes on. I happen to believe that we're these spiritual beings and we're eternal beings and we're here on this earth for a finite period of time. And so why don't we have a good time? Why don't we love ourselves? Why can't we get there? It's because of the programming. So in 1989, when I received my first Wilhelm message, it was kind of shocking to me. And that's on my website, anyadvicefortoday.com. You can find it there. It's on February 19th. And on that date as well, I posted so many messages over years so that you could see how they progressed. I'm saying this because that's how you progress. Imagine this, and this is going to be in this video that I just put up a while ago. When we move through our lives, we have a certain level of understanding that we can accept. And if we break it down to being in school, you can think of it that way when you were in grade school and then going to high school or college, if you did that, whatever. It was always a progression in your understanding, your consciousness, your knowledge, your wisdom. And then you use that to do something. And then you also are giving it back to others because that's how our world evolves. We learn from all those who have come before. But then we come to a place where we have to make a choice. And that choice is going to be, are we going to hold on to what was old? Are we going to move into what is new? That's within us and that's within the world. And there you have your dilemma. Because what happens is we become afraid of the unknown, which is why we don't own our genius, which is why we don't own our greatness, because we think that couldn't possibly be me because I've never been there before. That's what happens. But when you take the step into that place of your unknown, of who you are, magical things happen. Now, I've said this before, but I'm going to explain it again because what I'm doing is putting all of this into my work. I'm 73 years old. I've talked about that. I keep doing it because I want people to understand that age has nothing to do with where you are and what you can achieve. And I'm a person who's moved through every horrible, difficult, challenging thing and illness and disease and all of that, and they're all gone. And I can say that confidently because it's been years now. It took me a while to believe that, but that's what's happened. And what I'm going to start doing is documenting it because I want everyone to have this information. The fact that I downloaded, created this particular philosophy, and that it has the potential to change the world. It has the potential, and people will think, well, that's not possible. And I'm saying it is, because if you start to love yourself, if you start to do what you came to the world to do, you're letting go of all the old stuff that didn't serve you, then you're making a different contribution. Can't you see how that would lead to more love and more acceptance within you, but also in our world? And that's what I was given. But in the video, so then I put up those messages today, and you will find that it's on, and I'll leave a link so you can see it. But then after that, I was led to another video. I was just guided to find a message that was done in 2022. But what showed was a channeling session that I did on May 16th of 2022. And if you listen to that one, because I just put it up and it said why you can succeed, why you can, how you can do it, because it's all in that video. And I'd love for you to listen to that, but I'll put a link here because I know that any person can reach the highest level of success that they can experience or want to have in their life in every single area if you connect to your authentic self. That's all that it is. Now, that's what my work was meant to do, is to connect each person to that authentic self. And I'm not meaning something that is just only here in one way. It's like that authentic self is connected to source, is connected to however you think of it, God or all that is. Every single person has that, but we won't remember always when we're living our lives because of the programming. But then you will hear these theoretical things about mindset and mind-body healing and all of these different things that are possible. And you listen to those and you study and you will go and do that over and over again, and then you don't believe it. And then I will tell you that, yes, it's possible because I've done it. And then you'll look at me and say, no, that's not possible either. That's why I talked about cognitive dissonance, because we all have it. It's challenging to believe that we can accomplish certain things, but we can. There's no difference in any person. And this is why several years ago, I put out a video, and I said, I can't see anything wrong with you. Because when you reach a certain state of understanding or consciousness, you start seeing beyond the illusions of that are within each person, and I can do that. And that's what happens when I do a channeling session, whether it's public or private. I can access your information because it's cosmic guidance that I receive. But we all have it. We may not use it, but I've done that, and that's what I've created. And so took a while for me to say that I have this most incredible, valuable thing that anyone could own because it gets you in touch with you. That's the difference. Now, I want you to understand, I put something out the other day. I just said this because I wanted to see how many people would believe this. And I said, I have a message for your birthday. I put it just on social media. I said, just send me a note and I'll send you the message. People looked at that and said, no, that's not possible. Couldn't possibly happen, except people I've met with. And when we got together and I read you your birthday message that came through in 2012, they freak out. Some people cry. Because see, what happened was it was a recognition to who you are. And I received all of that. And it's worked every time. I doubted it too. I was skeptical. That's what happens when we develop certain gifts or talents. In the beginning, we're a little skeptical of that. Is it real? Are people going to believe me? That's really the main thing, is that you're worried about what someone else is going to think about what you're developing. We're all supposed to develop something new because we are unique beings. You will hear that in that session from May 16th of 2022, and you'll understand a lot more. But I want you to have all of this because when you read through the message that's on the site today, any advice for today, and read through each message, you will see how your brain changes. We all have, and you know about neuroscience now. This is why it worked for me because I'm doing it every single day. So every day I'm changing my mind. Most people will run from that because we don't want to look at ourselves. But when I looked at every horrible, ugly thing that was within me and let go of it and decided to move through it and cried and grieved and went through the dark night of the soul, did all of those things, you come out healed. And it's kind of surprising because I didn't talk about it so much, but I'm going to do more of it. And I'm going to even have my doctors kind of document this. Maybe people will believe a little bit more then. Even when you've probably read books like Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, and that seems like that's just made up. A lot of people get value from it, but so many others think that's not possible. I thought that too, except when I healed everything. And this is what I'm giving to all others because it's what I'm going to leave on this earth because it's going to make a huge difference. Now, I'm not going to expect everyone to believe that because that's the duality that we will always have. And that's in one of the messages as well that's on the site. You'll understand that. We're always going to be presented with choices, and we are the only ones who can choose. And when you choose yourself, when you choose to believe in who you are, you reach a higher state of understanding, a higher state of consciousness, and then you start to feel differently in your life and in your body, and you see everything in a new way. And I know this because I've lived it. And I know people are struggling at times, and I get that, except I do know that it's for a reason. You would not be struggling and having problems unless it was something you were meant to move beyond. And when you move beyond it, then you give that information, your wisdom to others. And then we start to all uplift the world. That's what happens. For so many years, I would never have talked about this. I want you to understand what you might be hiding from yourself, because that's what we do. We just hide from who we are because it doesn't seem to make sense. But then we take courses, we do all these studies, but I did so much more than that. I did all the courses, I did all the studies. I did it from 1970s is when I first did my first personal development work. So I do understand. But then when I started connecting to the cosmic guidance and put it all together, because I've done everything, I've done all kinds of businesses, I've done all of that stuff. But then to put that together and to see the difference and the healing and what happened in my life, I have to give that to others. And I'm going to give it to all those who want it. Now, as I said, my program is always open. Anyone can afford it. So you have to question if you're going to do that or not. Anybody can afford it because there are all different kinds of payment options. And that's why I did it, because I know that the more people who do this work, you're going to live this incredible life, and then we'll create a much better world. As you listen to all of these things, that will make a lot more sense. And as you read everything, you'll see them from the very beginning that every day I'm moving through something and receiving this information. And that's why it turned out to be a philosophy that says every single soul born has worth and value. They're meant to bring it to the world. And if they do that, they will have this wonderful life. And then eventually we create this really great world. And that's what I'm going about doing. And I'm so thrilled that I'm going to have more opportunities because I hid as well. So don't be afraid of that. Don't judge yourself because you have not done that thing. It takes time. And that was one of the messages as well. Self-acceptance takes time because that's the only thing we're ever trying to do is accept who we are, our authentic self. But I have the plan. And I can say that now. And all of those who use it are going to have these great lives. And I'm so thrilled with the people who are doing it now and the one person and a couple of people who joined today because I can see already what they're doing, what they're going to do, because they're understanding their lives. They're understanding their unique vision and what they're meant to do. The more people who do that, the better our world comes, but the better you become when you decide to own who you are. And I'm going to say it again. We all fear our greatness. You must understand that so you don't judge yourself. But then the steps that you take to embody it changes everything. And over every single day, it gets better. And every cliche thing that you might have heard, I can tell you they're true. Every day gets better, yes, because you only get better in anything in your consciousness. That's all that it is. and we all have access to it, and we can all change it, and we can all reach this higher state of understanding. And that is the work that I've done. And I'm no longer going to fear my greatness, and I don't want you to do it either, because then we're not doing the work that we came to do. We're not changing the world. And you have to think about that. We don't live forever. We're supposed to do it now. And that's why I'm changing as well. So please check everything. If you're your first time here, please subscribe to the channel, share it with others. I am so determined to accept my mission of uplifting the world. You'll see a message in the one that's on Any Advice, where I was given this message a long time ago. You came to be love. Oh, I said, no, I can't do that. That's too much trouble. That's too difficult. I can't be loving to everyone. I can't do all of that. Yes, I can. Because what you find is that when you start doing that, you love yourself in ways that you can't even imagine. And that's what I'm giving to the world now. And I hope you give yourself in your essence and develop who you're meant to become, because then you'll see a different life for yourself and we'll all see a different world. I love you all so much, and just check everything out, and I will see you real soon.